I'll explain this in about 50 seconds.
At last, a death! I can't connect to a game on an emotional level until it has at least one cow.
Oh! Careful though. The higher you leap, the longer you fall.
That's gonna hurt in the morning.
For those of you who understand what you just saw, this video is over, and for those of you who don't, hopefully I can explain it so that you can be in on the laugh, because this had me laughing quite a bit. This is a game of Blood Bowl 2 on Steam, a turn-based board game that is sort of like if American football was played with chainsaws, knives, and armor, by elves and giant mutant rats. Despite how awesome and bloody that sounds, a big part of what keeps people playing Blood Bowl is that the individual players can level up over several games. So permanent injuries are actually quite rare. An average game of Blood Bowl takes more than an hour, and most characters level up only once per 2 to 10 games, depending on if they're running the ball or just, standing on the line. So losing a level 2 player might represent losing 10 hours of having that guy in your team, while losing a maximum level 6 player would be losing more than 40 hours of play on one character. Knocking people over or out is made more difficult based on the skills that the player has, and also by the number of adjacent friends each player involved in an attack has. It may take 4 elves to push one giant mutant rat out of bounds, for example, but a super fragile but quick gutter runner rat can be knocked down easily by one player. The traditional way to protect the ball in Blood Bowl as you push it down the pitch with your fragile but quick gutter runner is to build a cage around him so that the enemy player can't even attack him without knocking down the cage first. So hopefully I've explained enough so that you can get a feel for just how traditional and safe the formation that the rats have assumed is here. The ball is completely surrounded by rats, and no elf can get to it without having to knock down the cage first in a normal scenario. But what's coming isn't a normal scenario. On my team, I have a star player. Star players don't gain levels the way normal players do, and you only hire them for one game, wasting money that could otherwise buy you a player that you're going to keep for maybe 100 games. So most people don't use star players very often. This star player, however, has 2 very important skills. The first being Leap, which allows him to jump right next to the ball, ignoring all of the difficult rolls he'd normally have to make to get there. And the second being Stab, which allows him to compete only with the armor that the ball carrier is wearing, instead of all of the skills he's earned by leveling up over time, and all of the players he has standing around waiting to help him. In my 160 hours of Blood Bowl so far, I've only actually seen 10 deaths. And for a player that seemed so safe a second ago to just suddenly die is shocking. It was breathtaking. It was hilarious. So later in the very same game, I'm presented with the very same opportunity. Again, you can see 7 friendly rats surrounding one ball carrier who has only 7 armor, which is very low, and only 1 strength, which is ridiculously low. My elf fails to jump in, so we all think that it's over because he's a loner, so usually rerolls don't work, but then the reroll does work. Now it takes a couple of seconds for me to select Stab from the drop-down menu, and during that time, the tension is certainly building. We're expecting to either see the ball carrier fall over stabbed in the chest by my star player, or standing there with a "you failed to stab" message come up, and instead we see a foul appearance message come up. This rat was so oozing and disgusting that my star player would rather just not stab him. And in true justice porn fashion, after failing to stab to death this ball-carrying rat, he's immediately knocked out and sent off the field by all of those 7 friends he just jumped into the middle of.